Coach, I guess just talk a little bit about Southern Illinois coming in here, a game that you guys kind of felt like you had right there and then let it get away.
Yeah, the first time we played them, they kind of controlled the game. We made a run at the end, but we did miss a lot of shots around the rim. We're a totally different team. I would imagine they're totally different. They've got Fletcher back as well as Teak Bowl. I mean, this is as big and as physical and as talented of a team, I think, in the league. I'm trying to think. We've yet to play Illinois State, so I haven't seen them up close and personal. But this is a good team.
You've been having trouble with playing guys, teams that have tall guys. Is that another concern with this one here?
Yeah, I mean, Pippen's really good. I mean, he had 20 on us the first time, and we're just small. I mean, we'll give Darian Scott a shot down there and see, but I mean, we're just a small team. I mean, I don't know what else to do. I mean, we're not going to grow tonight. I wish we were, but we're not going to. We'll have to figure something out.
How important is it for Tulio then to be smart and disciplined and try to stay out of foul trouble so that you don't run into him sitting on the bench and making you guys even smaller?
Yeah, I mean, we've done a pretty good job of that ever since the Valpo game here, at the beginning of league play, and that's been part of one of the reasons why we can kind of play with people, because we feel like our better guys are on the floor most of the time, and again, a lot of that'll be on him. Does he do his work early? Are we doing a good enough job on the perimeter that they can't get it in there? But we'll have to do some things to help us, because Pippen's a difficult matchup for us.
I brought this up yesterday on the phone, but Ryan and JB have never beat Southern Illinois. Just how much would it mean to get them a win against somebody they've never beat?
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather get them an NCAA tournament that they've never had. I mean, I'd rather get them a winning record in the league. I mean, it's not about, and I know that Coach Henson coached here, but for us, that's not a motivator. I mean, we can't let someone else be our motivation. I mean, we'll never do that, but we'd like to win tomorrow. We'd like to win Sunday against Illinois State, but we won't want to win then because I went to school there, right? We just need to try to win the next game. So,
have people been like that with it's former Berries coming in? Have they been trying to do that to you?
No, because I'm not around everybody right now. I would imagine it's important to our fans, and rightfully so, but no one said it to me. I mean, I think it's one of those things that's kind of old now, I think. I don't know. It's just no one said it to me. I mean, I'm sure this game means a lot more to Coach Henson than probably a normal game because of the history, but no one said it to me.
So nobody came in yesterday when you're serving coffee?
Well, this morning I had some coffee visitors, but I don't think anyone talked about the game. Everybody talked about just some of the things that they appreciate we're doing in the community. Yeah, it was quick.
Can you talk about just the importance of these two games in relation to the conference race? You've got Southern Illinois, you got Illinois State up there. Just try to separate you guys and get you to the top of the conference half.
I mean, that is definitely a obvious point. I mean, if we're fortunate enough to win them, we'll be, I guess, 7-5 in the league with, I guess, 6 to go or something like that. And so we're playing a team that's tied with us, so that makes it a big game. Then you're playing a team that's in front of you, that makes it a big game. And so yeah, I mean, this is a week where we can do some things, but I think we've got to keep things in perspective too. I mean, we just need to try to play our best, to be honest, and hopefully our best will be good enough. But if you don't win them, that doesn't mean that the race is over. But it'd be a lot more fun to win it. But it's a big game now because we're actually in the race. I mean, we are one of the teams that are in the race. So all these games now are going to be big, right? And what we have to try to focus on is continue to get better. This team has a limited number of players, so we, as coaches, we still have to figure out how can this team get better. And sometimes that's hard. You don't want to level off or peak in the beginning of February. You want to try to do that, the end of February, beginning of March. So we've got to figure that out.
You look back at that UNI game, and you right there all the way. What was, like maybe one or two things right at the end?
Yeah, I thought when we made 2 free throws, we were down 2 at a minute 15, and I tried to press them. Probably should have just guarded them one more time. That would have probably given us a better chance to not foul. and it still would have been a one-possession game with probably under a little under a minute, and that could have probably made it a better ending for us potentially. And I think other than that, I felt like our guys did. They did what you ask them to do against that type of team. You can't let them get loose at home. I mean, they make those threes, and you know, if we're not making the threes, which we're not shooting a lot of them now, then it'd be hard for us to overcome. But I thought our guys tried to do what we asked them to do.
Did you work on your pivot foots this week? Or?
I think we will today. I think some guys have in breakdown. Definitely got to keep them down. From you know, with us right now, possessions are at an all-time high because there's not very many. I mean, our last 4 games, we're around 52 possessions. I mean, that's nothing. So we can't give away 12 of them. Yeah.
And that's not really the way you wanted to play coming into the year. Just you wanted to be up tempo. Just how difficult has it been for you to adjust to really what you have and being able to figure out ways to win?
Yeah, I don't think it's difficult. You know, you just have to do what you have to do. I can't send the guys out there to just lose. You know, I have to put them in a position to have a chance. And you know, at the beginning of the year, we didn't have Tulio, so we felt like, you know, in order for us to get some points, we maybe could beat people down the floor. And then, you know, the league, too. I mean, you look at our league, there's one team averaging 70 points, and that's Drake, and they're right at 70 points. So, I mean, I'm not God's gift of basketball. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. I'm trying to give Missouri State the best chance to win in this league. And typically, the team that leads the league in defense, they typically have a pretty good year. And there's a lot of ball left to be played. And you know, we just need to continue to do what we do, try to do it better than the other team does it. But it hadn't been a difficult change, and I think it's helped our players buy in because we've won a few games with it. I mean, we won 3 of our last 4. We could have won 4 in a row playing this way, and I think they want to win more than anything. Yeah.
Have you noticed maybe a bit of a renewed bit of energy with the team, given the recent success? You mentioned the 3 wins, and then you guys lost last time out, but still pretty happy with the performance. Have you noticed something like that?
Well, you know, this group has been pretty consistent throughout the year and pretty resilient. But I think they've got a pretty good energy level. Obviously, when you go on a winning streak in league play, that always feels good, right? I mean, if you win 3 games or 4 games in a row, that means you've gone in league play 10 days without losing. That's normally a pretty good feeling. I mean, if you win 4 league games in a row, you've gone 14 days at least without losing. I mean, that's 2 weeks. So, I mean, that always gives you a little bit more energy. So, you know, we need another one of those stretches, right, to try to finish as strong as we can. But we got a great group of guys, and you know, Krecklow and Dixon, they do a pretty good job of leading, and I think they feel good about themselves. I hope they do. You know, we got stuck in Waterloo, Iowa the other night. That's a little downer, but other than that, I think it's been pretty good.
Man, you just don't like Iowa, do you?
Right
No,
now,
don't even worry
I do
about
not
it.
like Iowa right now. Des Moines did not treat me well. Cedar Falls did not treat me well. And the tournament's not there, so I don't have to go back till next year. I don't recruit there, so, unless there's somebody who wants to play for the Bears.
There you go.
So you mentioned Tulio and how you guys got him halfway through the season. Now, like, he's become a pretty crucial part of your team. You mentioned that he's like very talkative off the court. How does that help your team? Having someone that not only is active on the court but also off.
Yeah, you know, he has been he's been good for us, and not just for this year, but when you start looking at the future of the program, and you got a guy like that who you can try to continue to develop. I mean, he's a really good player, and he's a little bit different than what the typical forward in this league is, and I think that's good for us, you know, moving forward. But from everything I know, he's a great teammate, and I think just him being talkative is just another sign of that. I do feel like we have a close group. I do think this group sticks together, even when things aren't going well. It's been an up and down year. They've had plenty of opportunities to fall apart if they wanted to, but they didn't. And I think it just speaks to all the guys' character, and he's one of those guys.
Are you ever like, man, where would we be without him? Because I mean, you didn't expect to have him. It's kind of a nice bonus, and it helps him for next year too.
Yeah, I mean, I've said that so many times. Man, I mean, I don't know where we would be with. I guess we would be playing even slower, I guess. I don't know. Our defense would
That's
have to
not
be even
possible.
better, right? It's not possible, is it? You know, he bails us out, and there's some other guys that are like that too, but he was definitely a added bonus. And, you know, like you mentioned, I'm so excited about this offseason with him because he's gotten an opportunity to get a taste of, you know, what this level is about. The Valley's a little different than most leagues. I mean, you have to play a certain way in this league. I mean, you're not going to do it any other way. I mean, and I think not only he, but Keandre Cook has got a taste of that. You know, Shimon Wojcik unfortunately did not, but all of our other returners got a little taste of that as well. And we'll have to have really good off seasons to get them to take that next step. Tulio has another step. You know, he's got to be way more consistent with his production. You know, we can't afford, like tomorrow, we can't afford for Tulio to have 8 points. I mean, that's just not a good look for us, unless we only give up 28 points, which then I guess he can have 8 points, so we'll see. But
Possible for you guys.
well, you know, 28's hard. 28's hard. I mean, that's hard. That's hard. So.